Right now on News 3, after a touching funeral in Washington, the body of the 41st president is back home in Houston.
A local brewery is targeted by thieves. The company now is hoping to recover some of its losses.
And later, a little girl who tried to break a world record is trying again, motivated by something close to her heart.
This is News 3 at 10.
The flag-draped casket of former President George Herbert Walker Bush lying in repose at this hour. It's a live look at St. Martin's Episcopal Church, Houston, Texas, after lying in state at the U.S. Capitol, and a funeral service at the Washington National Cathedral. His remains returned to Houston earlier this evening. Thanks for joining us tonight for News 3 at 10. Hundreds of people are expected to pass his casket. It all leads up to his second memorial service and burial ceremony.
He will be buried tomorrow next to his wife, former First Lady Barbara Bush. Courtney Zabowski has the latest.
After Wednesday's state funeral filled with love, laughter, and praise, the body of former President George H.W. Bush arrived in Texas for a final farewell. In Fort Worth, the Navy prepared to honor Mr. Bush on Thursday with a 21-aircraft formation. Earlier at the National Cathedral in Washington, he was celebrated as a family man, war hero, and leader.
His was the brightest of 1,000 points of light. In victory, he shared credit. When he lost, he shouldered the blame.
President Trump and 3 former presidents listened as former President George W. Bush delivered his father's eulogy.
He showed me what it means to be a president who serves with integrity, leads with courage, and acts with love in his heart for the citizens of our country.
Mr. Bush's loving remembrances often fill the cathedral with laughter.
The man couldn't stomach vegetables, especially broccoli. And by the way, he passed these genetic defects along to us. We tested his patience. I know I did.
He became emotional while remembering his father, mother, and sister who died from leukemia at the age of 3.
A great and noble man. The best father a son or daughter could have. And in our grief, let us smile knowing that Dad is hugging Robin and holding Mom's hand again.
On Thursday, George Herbert Walker Bush will be laid to rest next to former First Lady Barbara Bush, who died earlier this year, and their daughter Robin. Courtney Zabowski, CBS News, Houston, Texas.
Mr. Bush's remains will lie in repose at St. Martin's Episcopal Church until tomorrow's funeral service and burial on the Presidential Library grounds at Texas A&M University.
And 2 Marines from southeastern Wisconsin were among military members standing guard over President Bush's casket while it was at the U.S. Capitol Rotunda. Lance Corporal Casey Schwetz is a 2017 Brookfield Central High School graduate. Racine native Oscar Selbera also stood guard. The 2 are among 10 Marines assisting other military members in keeping watch at the Capitol.
It's taking a look at weather now. We are in the midst of a cold streak, and it will get even colder as the week goes on, prompting an alert day. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti has our first alert forecast from the weather patio. Gary?
Charlotte, you're right. We have an alert day in the forecast for Friday, mainly for the first really cold snap for the area for this late fall, or maybe we can even call it early winter at this point. Friday morning, looking for wind chills to be between 0 and 10 below 0, and daytime high temperatures only reach the upper teens, about 15 degrees below normal. So keep that in mind when you're planning your activities for Friday. Doppler track tonight, there are a few snow flurries, mainly through the northern parts of our viewing area, north of the Dells. Could see a flurry or 2 about as far south as Madison. Areas south of Madison most likely won't see them. Low temperatures this morning started out in the lower 20s thanks to cloud cover, but we had some sunshine this afternoon that allowed high temperatures to get right around freezing here in Madison. We were right at 32 degrees, but temperatures have dropped into the mid-20s to around 30 degrees. Winds are not too brisk right now. Wind chills are mainly in the 20s, but notice to the north and west they drop into the teens, and we'll probably see wind chills in the teens all day tomorrow. In fact, look for temperatures to only climb to the lower 20s after starting out around 20 early tomorrow morning. We'll see partly sunny skies, and it'll be even colder for Friday. That's your first alert forecast.
Thank you, Gary. Governor-elect Tony Evers is calling on Governor Walker to veto legislation that would strip powers from the governor and attorney general.
The full legislature passed the measures early this morning, and they are now headed to Governor Walker's desk. Republican lawmakers argue that they are making sure the three branches of government are balanced, but Evers is calling the legislation a power grab.
I view this, what was passed, as frankly, a hot mess. And together, all of it is, I think, a dangerous precedent.
Evers says all options are on the table in trying to stop the bills from being signed into law, including potentially filing a lawsuit. Speaker Voss said this morning Democrats have the right to do that, but he is confident these bills are constitutional.
Lawmakers are also making a number of decisions on topic of health care. Overnight, the legislature approved new work requirements for some Medicaid recipients, requiring childless adults to complete at least 80 hours of work to maintain coverage. The state Senate rejected a bill that would have created a guarantee that people with pre-existing conditions can have access to health insurance. Democrats say the measure provided inadequate coverage and would cause premiums to skyrocket. That bill failed by one vote. A fired Salvation Army bell ringer is now charged with theft. He's being accused of trying to steal his collection pot. Police say 57-year-old Campbell Garrett Sr. of Madison was volunteering as a bell ringer at Woodman's on Gammon Road and took off with the donation kettle yesterday afternoon. It was captured on surveillance video, and he was arrested nearby. New tonight, a local pub needs your help getting back on its feet after someone broke in and stole thousands of dollars this weekend.
Amy Reed joins us now with how they're trying to get back to normal. Amy?
This was at Rockhound Brewing on Park Street. They're a newer company, about 2.5 years old, which makes all of this just a little bit harder. But with your help, they're hoping to get past it and maybe come out the other side a little stronger.
If you didn't know, you might not guess. With how smooth things are flowing at Rockhound Brewing, it would be hard to see the damage someone caused this weekend.
Yeah, late night B&E, so. Yeah, so you're helping me recover by drinking beer.
But it's there.
This is one of the doors that leads to the pub, and it's unfortunately it was pried open by the thieves, or the burglars, I guess, if you want to call it that.
After getting through the door on Sunday, owner Nate Warnke said the thieves stole the money made Saturday night. And with the cash and the damage, he's guessing it sets them back about 10 grand.
It was really a big shock more than anything else. It's kind of that little bit of denial, that shock that it actually happened.
But the bar and the beer keep flowing, not letting the burglary stop them for even a second, even sticking on schedule for the release of a brand new beer tonight, with a name you can call ironic, unusual, or even serendipitous.
We're officially releasing a beer called Never Had a Bad Day.
Not named for the incident, but for the bartender, who keeps a good attitude that's more useful than he may realize.
I guess I have to take a cue from that and say, nope, you've never had a bad day in your life. You may have had some bad moments, but you never had a bad day.
He's hoping the community can help them get back to where they were.
Well, we have to do our part in getting those coffers refilled.
That's right.
By trying the new beer or donating to their GoFundMe page. And if they do, he's willing to keep the good attitude spreading, donating anything on top of what they need to local charities.
Yeah, more good days for everyone else, right? Make sure nobody has a bad day.
It's their way of getting back to normal. They're not stopping business, but also they're not going to stop their attitude.
I'm not going to stop that. Just keep giving back to the community, because there's no point in letting something like this stop you from doing what you're trying to do.
Rockhound is talking with police. They have security footage and they're tracking down leads. If you have any information that might help them, feel free to give them a call. But if you'd rather help through donation, we'll have that link available on our website. All
right, Amy Reed in our news center. Amy, thank you. Representatives from more than a half dozen breweries in the Green Bay area came together today to brew a special batch of beer. This is part of a nationwide effort to help victims of the Camp Fire in Northern California. The recipe comes from the Sierra Nevada Brewery, which saw the devastation of that fire firsthand.
Last count, I heard it was over 1,200 breweries participating in the same recipe that Sierra Nevada came up with.
Now, across the country, 100% of the sales of that specific beer will go back to the fire relief effort.
Police are looking for a man they say pointed a bow and arrow at a woman on a popular downtown bike path last night. Officers say 19-year-old woman was riding her bike on the Southwest commuter path around 6:30 yesterday when a man wearing black cut her off, drew back the bow, and pointed the arrow at her. She screamed and pedaled away in the opposite direction. Police have not made any arrest. A Portage girl is on a mission to land in the Guinness Book of World Records for the most pop tabs collected for a second time.
And Jamie Perez spoke with her today about her story and why she wants to set this record. The story of why the Tab Queen is back at it again.
Inside every can, every pop, brings a bit of energy. But not as much energy as Mercedes has.
Ain't that right?
While you and I may want what's inside these cans, Mercedes wants what's on top.
Yes.
With the goal of getting into the Guinness Book of World Records, this little fireball is collecting pop tabs.
We're in for the long haul again.
Again, this story has been done before. Last year, she collected almost 4 tons of pop tabs, but didn't have enough people to count them.
About 10 million tabs, a little over 10 million tabs.
10 million would have beat the world record of 2.8 million. While that may sound like a bummer, this girl with a golden heart said, let's try again.
She woke up one morning and she started saying that she wanted to collect tabs. And we said, okay, and we started collecting them. And then she said she wanted to collect them for her brother.
Her brother, Gunnar.
Where is Gunnar?
In my heart.
In 2014, Mercedes and her family were staying at the Ronald McDonald House when one of her brothers was in the hospital.
3 o'clock in the morning, we were notified that her 14-year-old brother, Gunnar, was killed in a car accident.
Gunnar is the reason Mercedes needs these tabs, as many as she can get, to donate to the Ronald McDonald House.
It was the last place that she had seen Gunnar, and she put the tab collecting that she liked to do anyways, together with her brother being gone.
She started her collection up in September. She already has about 1.4 million tabs.
My new goal is 7 million.
Your new goal is 7 million? That's a lot. You think you can do it? Yeah, for Gunnar, right?
Yep.
Here's what 1.4 million tabs looks like. No wonder how she earned her nickname of Tab Queen.
Who gave you the nickname Tab Queen?
I don't know.
You did.
No, you did.
Well, whoever did, this Tab Queen is taking this second chance to make sure she can beat the record this time around.
Starting the 1st of January, we're going to post on her Facebook page a sign-up sheet, so we have all the people well in advance before we even get to the last day.
That last day is August 31st of next year. Think she can do it?
She's going to continue to do her mission until she completes it, and then after that, I'm sure she'll continue to do more.
If you would like to help Mercedes in her efforts to beat the world record by donating, or if you would like to volunteer to help count those pop tabs in August of next year, you can contact her dad through the Facebook page, Mercedes Mission. A link to that can be found on our website.
I think some people out there can help out, right?
Absolutely.
I think she's going to do it.
I think she's going to do it, too.
Jamie Perez tonight. Jamie, thank you. And still ahead tonight at 10, more lane closures for the Verona Road project.
What we can expect before crews wrap up their work for the season when we come back. Welcome back. After a year full of setbacks because of Mother Nature, construction crews on Verona Road are getting ready to wrap up operations in 2018.
But before they do, there are some road closures drivers will need to deal with for the rest of this week. And starting tonight until tomorrow morning, the northbound Verona Road traffic will be shifted to the new northbound lanes between Williamsburg Way and Raymond Road as crews remove and replace pavement markings. Tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., crews will be working on the southbound lanes. There will also be closures Friday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and then from 6 p.m. till 7 a.m. Saturday morning.
Car lovers came to Janesville today to honor a former GM employee who had lost his fight with cancer. Roger Clemens passed away last week at the age of 82 and had no immediate family left in the area. The funeral home put out a request for people to bring their classic cars, and they did.
I believe these cars have a spirit of their own. So if I can share that spirit with anybody, and if he's above watching us, I think he's enjoying the time.
The car owners paid their respects to Clements and sent him off by revving their engines.
Cold weather ahead. We turn to meteorologist Gary Canalti, who has an alert day in the forecast for Friday, right, Gary?
Right, and that's just for cold temperatures. It's the first big cold snap of the year, and we're looking for wind chills by Friday morning to be somewhere between about 0 and 10 below 0 through much of southern Wisconsin. High temperatures in the afternoon won't be much warmer, only reaching the upper teens when the average high temperature should be in the middle 30s. Now, as far as future track wind chills, this is Friday morning at 6:30 a.m. and it's showing wind chills between about 0 and 10 below 0 through much of southern Wisconsin, especially away from Lake Michigan. So keep that in mind for Friday when you're bundling the kids up for school. Doppler track tonight, a few snow flurries through the northern parts of our viewing area. For the most part, they're north of Wisconsin Dells, heading eastward, so areas south of Madison probably won't see anything from them. Live view from the Edgewater Sky Cam in downtown Madison. Capitol's lit up nice tonight. It's cold out there, but no flurries here in the Madison area. High temperature today, 32, the low temperature 22. You can see how close we are to the average high and low of 34 and 19. And right now, we're sitting at 30 degrees. Skies are mostly cloudy, winds out of the southwest at 5 miles per hour. Wind chill right now still pretty tolerable at 25 degrees. The high temperature trend over the next 7 days, you can see below normal temperatures expected for the next few days. 23 tomorrow, 18 on Friday, and then temperatures in the mid to upper 20s for the weekend. As we get into next week, you can see those temperatures closer to normal as temperatures start to increase ahead of a storm system that could bring us some light mixed precipitation by late Wednesday. Current temperatures are in the 30s or around 30 in the southern part of the state, generally 20s northern Wisconsin, and then you see those temperatures drop off into the teens up in northern Minnesota. Take a look at the wind chills right now. They're in the teens, single digits, and close to 0 already over parts of North Dakota. That cold air really just north of the U.S.-Canadian border and dropping southward. There's actually a couple of cold fronts. You can see the wind shift from southwest to northwest, just to the west of the La Crosse area. There's a second front that's kind of up in this area that's dropping southward, and that has more of a punch with it, and that will keep our temperatures from rising very much, if at all, tomorrow. Upper level winds right now from west to east, but then they become more northerly, especially in the Dakota or western Dakotas, and that cold air will be filtering eastward, and that just kind of fuels the jet stream, that strong west to east pattern. Storm system that's bringing rain to parts of California and the desert southwest will eventually move eastward, bringing rain and perhaps some snow up toward the Ohio River and into parts of the mid-Atlantic states over the next few days, but that system will stay to our south. Here's the cold fronts I'm talking about. There's the first one in the La Crosse area. There's the second one back to the north and west. Those temperatures north of the second front, generally in the teens in northern Minnesota, but then they drop very quickly into the single digits just north of the U.S.-Canadian border. Our forecast for the overnight hours, low of 20 with mostly cloudy skies, just a slight chance of a flurry north of Madison. Tomorrow, partly sunny, breezy, and colder. Near steady temperatures right around 23 degrees. On future track, those temperatures drop off to around 20 by early tomorrow morning, but as skies start to clear, even though we have sunshine, those northwesterly winds keeping temperatures only in the low 20s for much of the day. And then as we start to clear out tomorrow night, the winds lighten up, those low temperatures drop off into the single digits. Look for high temperatures on Friday only in the upper teens. 7 to 10 day forecast, those temperatures on the cold side for the weekend, just not quite as cold as Friday. Mid-20s Friday, upper 20s on Sunday, or mid-20s Saturday and upper 20s on Sunday. And then as we head into next week, those temperatures start to rebound a little bit. Could be a chance of a light rain or snow shower late Wednesday, maybe changing to some flurries on Thursday, but no big weather systems in the offing, and temperatures at least a little more tolerable toward the end of next week.
Sounds good, Gary. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Packers interim head coach Joe Philbin explains the Winston Moss firing and says there's a little more to it than just a Twitter story. We'll have that coming up in sports.
Something's up with the Bucs' Chris Middleton. He was benched for not hustling last Saturday at New York. Tonight he doesn't play against Detroit because of personal reasons. But the Bucs didn't need him because they had Eric Bledsoe. Bledsoe went nuts, scored 27 points to lead the Bucs as Giannis battled some foul trouble. But Giannis made some plays too. Watch him recover on defense to swat Blake Griffin. Wow. Good night for the Bucs. Final score, Milwaukee 115, Detroit 92. The Packers have picked up a former Wisconsin Badger. The Packers got cornerback Natrell Jamerson on waivers from the Houston Texans. Kevin King was placed on injured reserve. Interim head coach Joe Philbin addressed the Winston Moss situation today. Yesterday, Moss tweeted that for the Packers to be successful, Aaron Rodgers and everyone in the building has to be held to a Lombardi standard. Moss was fired later in the day. Philbin was asked directly today if Moss's tweet led to his firing yesterday.
No, I mean, it's never about one thing, you know. I mean, it's, again, I think it's important, as I said to the team, that, you know, we got to be professional, accountable, respectful, and punctual. Those are the 4 things we got to do these next 4 weeks. And if we do all those things, we'll be in good shape. So it wasn't about, again, you know, you're talking to a guy who's never tweeted in his life, doesn't even know what Twitter is. So, you know, again, it's not about a tweet or anything like that. I just think the fit right now isn't what it needs to be.
Bears quarterback Mitchell Trubisky expects to play Sunday night when the Los Angeles Rams come to Soldier Field. Trubisky has missed the last 2 games with a sore shoulder. The Bears are 1-1 in those games with Chase Daniels starting. The Bears still lead the NFC North with an 8-4 record. The Badger volleyball team is in the NCAA regional semifinals for the 6th year in a row. Wisconsin is in Champaign, Illinois to face San Diego Friday afternoon. The Badgers have a number of players who have been through the tournament experience before, but even if you have, there's a lot of pressure, and they'll have to stay focused on the task at hand.
I think there's always a little bit of nerves, even for regular season games, you have nerves. But I think most of it's just excited because this is an exciting time of the year. Anything can happen, anyone can win, and you just got to go out and play well.
I mean, there's 16 teams playing left in the country. That's not a lot of teams, and everybody wants to get to that Final Four. Everybody wants to win a national championship and be a part of that very small list of schools who has actually achieved that. And I don't know, it's just indescribable, the excitement that everybody feels at this point. There's definitely a lot of pressure because, you know, 1 game and you're out, so got to do or die.
Kind of a different schedule for Friday in Champaign. Marquette and Illinois start the day at 11 in the morning with their regional semifinal match. The Badgers face San Diego after that, scheduled to start at 1:30 p.m. Friday. The winners go for a spot in the national semifinals on Saturday. And baseball, the Arizona Diamondbacks traded star first baseman Paul Goldschmidt to the St. Louis Cardinals for pitcher Luke Weaver, catcher Carson Kelly, and infielder Andy Young. Goldschmidt was the face of the Arizona franchise, averaging 33 homers and 85 runs batted in over those last 6 seasons. And we'll be right back.
He could have turned it around, and he sends that deep to left, and Goldschmidt.
Gary's here with the final check of your forecast.
Got some flurries north of Madison. Shouldn't amount to very much. They'll be gone in the next few hours. Temperatures right now around 30 at Madison, but starting to cool off to our north and west. Those wind chills, mid-20s here, dropping to the teens out toward the La Crosse area. Tomorrow, a high of only 23 degrees. An alert day for Friday, a low of 6 with wind chills to -10 and highs only around 18. A little bit of a warm-up toward the middle of next week.
Gary, thanks. Thanks for joining us for News 3 at 10.
Do something good, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.